So if you could take a pill that made you never hungry again, would you take it? Probably not, right? Because you would die, because you'd not know you're hungry and you wouldn't eat and you'd die, right? If you could take a pill that never made you thirsty again, would you take it? Probably not, right? Because again, you would die of thirst because you don't know you're thirsty. And would you take a pill that never made you scared again? Probably not, right? Because maybe you'd come face to face with a bear and you wouldn't run because you weren't scared. So I'm sure you can agree that hunger, thirst, and fear, they're good for you. They help you go in the right direction, right? They keep you alive. You're probably running away from boredom. Because boredom is like any other negative emotion. It's good. Because when you feel bored, it gets you off your ass to do what you know needs to be done. But you're probably running away from boredom, aren't you? You probably find your life boring. So what do? You stimulate yourself. You play video games, you go on your phone, you do all these things to run away from boredom. But you tell yourself, oh man, I have nothing to do. I'm so bored. But you do have stuff to do. You're doing all this stimulating stuff. But the thing is, you just don't like what you're doing. So it's not that you have nothing to do. It's that you just hate what you're doing. Because you're not allowing yourself to feel that boredom fully. So when you run away from the boredom by stimulating yourself, you're distracting yourself from finding what it is you truly want to do to cure that boredom. Like when I was a child, I used to be bored all the time. I'd be like, oh, I'm so bored. But eventually I'd come up with like some crazy thing to do. I remember one time I was so bored, I was like, I'm gonna go hunt frogs. And then I went frog hunting and I filled like an entire bucket with frogs. So like, I felt like when I was a child, I was always bored. But then suddenly when technology came around, when we had computers, when we had phones, suddenly I wasn't bored anymore. But the weird paradoxical thing was my life became more boring. I never felt bored anymore, but life became more boring. Because bro, what we find fun is relative. Like, for example, I remember before like we all had smartphones and technology, when I'd be taking a shit, the only thing you could do was read the label on the shampoo bottle. So I would always just like take the shampoo bottle and just read it. Because there was nothing else to do. That was the funnest thing you could do. So if you're not stimulating yourself all day with like phones and video games and all that, then suddenly the unstimulating stuff like work and gym actually becomes fun. Like doing work is the funnest part of my day now because I don't play video games. I don't, scroll on my phone because that's the funnest activity in my life. So I gravitate towards that. What's fun is actually relative to all the other stuff you're doing in your life. If you're doing stuff that's really easy and really stimulating, then the hardest stuff in your life is gonna seem less fun because it's all relative. Like I'd say for me, between the years 2018 and 2021, I was just stimulated 24 hours a day. And then 2021, I felt like I woke up and I was like, wait a minute, I've been skipping the gym for the past 3 years. I've literally just wasted 3 years of my life not going to the gym. And like I had this realization, and that's because I never allowed myself to feel that boredom and truly realize that that's what I wanted to do with my time. So, you see those videos on YouTube where they're like, oh, I wasted my 20s, I wasted my teenage years. You don't get that feeling if you actually allow yourself to feel into your mind and be bored and realize what you want to do with your life. Realize the goals you want to achieve, the journey you want to take. So if you've got a lot of free time right now and you're really bored, then you need to embrace that boredom. Literally just like sit in front of your wall with some paper and find out what it is you really want to do. You need to be bored. You need to embrace that boredom. Also, one more thing, imagine like prisoners. Have you ever noticed that prisoners get really jacked? It's like when they go to prison, they like take the gym really seriously. Why is that? It's because they've got nothing else to do. They're in prison. So your mind always wants to be doing shit, right? Your mind hates just being still doing nothing. It always wants to do shit, but it's going to do the easiest possible thing it can do. So between the gym and like a phone, it's gonna take the phone, right? You gotta use some energy to actually go to the gym. But if all you can do is the gym, then you're gonna do that. Like the prisoners, all they can do is the gym, so they're gonna do it. Otherwise they'll be bored. That's their only option. Like bro, I guarantee if you sat in a room and all you could do was gym and study or gym and work, then you're going to do that every single day, no problem, because there's nothing else to do. So your brain's gonna seek doing something. So it's gonna start doing that stuff. So you need to create that kind of environment in your life where the only stuff you can really do is the stuff that you truly want to do that will push you ahead in your life, rather than doing all these activities that you don't actually enjoy that much, that you're just doing because you don't want to feel the pain of boredom. Because that's what boredom is. Boredom is a painful negative emotion that signals that it wants us to have meaning and like fulfillment in our life because it feels unfulfilled. Boredom's painful, it sucks, it really does. Being bored is the worst feeling ever. But the deeper you go into that boredom, then that's when you'll realize the thing that will actually fulfill you in life and the thing you want to do. So bro, literally do this. I do this a couple times a year. I'll just go into my room and I would sit down, no joke, for like 7 hours doing nothing and just allowing myself to reach the end of thought and just spew out all the thoughts in my mind. Because we never allow ourselves to do that. We start diving into our thoughts to realize the problems in our life, and we stop the thoughts by stimulating ourselves. So that's why if you're doing an activity, just because you don't like being bored, oh yeah, I'm scrolling on social media or playing video games because there's nothing else to do, then that's why there's nothing else to do. It's because you're running away from the boredom. So if an activity is not actually making you feel really good and giving you fulfillment, then just stop doing it. It's better to be bored than to do something that you're doing to avoid boredom. So I hope this video helped, bro. Subscribe. See you later.